Hi folks, it's Goblin140 and welcome back to day 4 of my review of the build team. We're going to look at the 4th and last member of the group. I've been waffling a lot, mainly during the beginning of these videos, talking just about anything to make this video interesting, to make these videos interesting. But there really isn't anything that I can really say for this one character, except for, in any group, in any combiner group, you want to make sure that you have at least one tall character. One tall character, and kind of a character who is very laid back, very calm, very upbeat, but also a little bit intimidating, so that he pretty much enhances a lot of pride, and a lot of movement, and a lot of motivation in the younger, slightly a little bit more immature members of the group, in any combiner team, or any team in Transformers. That's the guy we're going to look at today. Today, we're going to take a look at build team, Robots in Disguise build team member, Grimlock. Not a dinosaur, and... okay, I'm just going to go into this right now. I never really understood why this character was named Grimlock. As we already know, and as anybody who's a Transformers fan will know, Grimlock is the name of everyone's favourite loved Dinobot. This is not a Dinobot. This is a construction vehicle. And this is something that really bothers me as well, is that why would you name a construction vehicle after a Dinobot? It's beyond me. And plus, whoever designed this one toy, and whoever Americanized it to give it the name that it has, wasn't being very creative, and they just picked the name right out of the hat. So I don't really know why this character was called Grimlock, but that answer, unfortunately, has been lost to the mists of time, because the year that this came out, this figure came out was in the year 2001, and we're light years ahead of ever finding the answer to that, so there you go. Now Grimlock. What can I really say about Grimlock? Sadly, not a lot. I really wish there was just a lot to say, but there really isn't. Grimlock, of course, is second in command of the build team, and he's pretty much a seasoned war veteran in a lot of ways. He's a seasoned warrior, but also he's the oldest and slightly more mature. And even though he's quite harsh-looking, and he is quite harsh-looking in that he's quite tall as well. He's very tall, he's very overpowering, in his stature as well. But aside from that, though, he also is rather calm and very upbeat, and he's also the team's best tactician. Meaning that he can plan out the tactics very well and plan the strategy, so that the battle, or pretty much the construction of any site, whatever it is, can go according to plan. As for what the character did, though, sadly, as you already know what I'm already going to say anyway, he didn't really get a lot of development. He's just one of those characters, like many of the other build team, who don't get the amount of development that he deserves. And because the series was mainly focused on the one character, Wedge, it's a little bit hard for this character to ever do anything at all. But, for what it's worth, I did think that this character actually did have a lot of prominence in the role that he had. In the cartoon, I think one episode he was in, Landfill, where after completion of the Arctic Link, Wedge was pretty much spoiling to do some more combat practice and sent Grimlock to the program data room in the main control center of the space bridge to switch them around. But he was tracked by Rotor, who led the other Decepticons to the terminal. And in the cartoon, in English, he is voiced by Tom Weiner, who is, or was, I'm not sure if he's acting anymore, but he was a huge veteran in terms of anime dubbing and whatnot. He was in things like Technoman, to Power Rangers, to Robotech, to Cowboy Bebop, Wolf's Rain, many things. The man is a great voice actor, as well as a great voice director as well. And plus, he I think he did a lot of writing for some of the episodes of the series as well. So pretty much, aside from being a great actor, voice director, and stuff, he is actually a pretty good writer. So go figure. And in Japanese, when he was known as Build Hurricane, he was voiced by Hiroki Takahashi, who he is quite a famous seiyuu in a lot of ways. He did the voice of Starscream in Beast Wars 2. Outside of Transformers, he also played Harima Kenji in School Rumble, Katsuya Junouchi, aka Joey Wheeler in Yu-Gi-Oh!, and most recently, for what he's best known for doing, he's currently playing the voice of Ryu in Street Fighter. So the man has his role. But and what I find really interesting about Grimlock as well is that whenever he transforms in robot mode, Tom Weiner, I don't know if this is intentional or not, and this is the way the animation was done, he always goes, "Oh yeah," when Grimlock completes his transformation. Excuse me. So, the guy is pretty much illustrious for the terms of voices that he's had in the lifespan that he's had as well. But Grimlock as a character, I really wish that Grimlock had a lot more to do, because even though he's the most mature, and even though he's the most well-oiled, and probably well-seasoned amongst war veterans and Transformers, I would like to compare him alongside characters like, say, Ironhide. Probably Ironhide from G1. Because this guy sort of has an Ironhide feel to him. But for what it's worth, he is a cool character. He is a decent character as well. He's a decent second-in-command, he's a seasoned fighter, and he pretty much does what you would expect him to do, in that he is a good builder as well. But anyway, now that I've rambled a little bit about the character, as short as it is, I'm going to keep this one short for a while. We're now going to cut straight onto the toy. Now, the toy is a little bit of an interesting one. I like this toy a lot. I think this toy is really, really cool. The alt mode, of course, is an excavator. His alt mode is an excavator, which is kind of weird, because it says that his alt mode is a backhoe, a green backhoe. Excavator, backhoe, whatever you want to call it. And the one thing that I like about him as well is that he's so realistically detailed. That's what I like about him as well. He's very realistically detailed. He's in a decent size. He has a lot going for him. He has no gun in robot mode, unfortunately. But I like how well designed the toy is and how in scale it is. But in robot mode, it has problems. But the alt mode, I do like the alt mode a lot. Now, this toy, of course, got the same treatment as redecoing and whatnot. It was of course redecoed. It was the mold was used to make Universe Scavenger, which I've seen that toy. It's purple, and the rest, and this part, the legs, well, the treads, of course, as well. And then these parts will become the arms in the robot mode for Devastator, are mainly just left as they are. But to be honest, I think that this toy, with the color scheme that it has, would have been perfect for Scavenger. The only thing they could have done though was change the head. And of course, this also got the manly yellow redeco for the Walmart exclusive in 2003. So go figure. This guy has had his fair share of coloring all over the years. Now of course you'll see the Autobot logo on the window right there, so that's pretty good. The detailing as well is really tremendously well done, so that's pretty good. And of course, he's a tread former, as you can already see. The treads don't move, sadly, but of course he has wheels at the bottom of them, so he can move fairly well without squeaking, I guess. But for what it's worth, I think this toy is pretty fine. And plus, this shovel arm, of course, is very well articulated, so you can actually have this moving all over the place to just pick up and scoop and dump and stuff, and pick up and scoop and dump. I really wish, though, that they named this character something more different, something a little bit more like a construction-based equivalent. But otherwise, it would have been stupid just to name this character Scavenger. But honestly, I'm getting ahead of myself. I think that for what it's worth, and here's the thing as well. If you squint real hard, and I'm only copying what it says on the TF Wiki, but if you squint really hard, it actually looks like a dinosaur. I'll give you a minute to let that sink in. But I think this toy is fine. The color scheme is perfect as it is. The detailing in the alt mode is very well done. I like how it looks. So the alt mode, of course, is fantastic. It's very well done, and it's very realistically detailed. Now for the robot mode. And transforming this guy is a little bit complex, but it's also quite fun. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take this piece off. And then, of course, rotate that bit around. Lift out these parts, which will then eventually become the legs, and pull this piece out. And pull out these parts, which will become the arms. And of course, if you look right here, the fingers or hands are located right inside this window where the passenger would sit. And of course, right here as well, in the powerhouse. And of course, you pull out, we'll lift up the shoulder pads first, and lift this bit up, which reveals the head, pull the arms out, and straighten out the legs, and pull them out as well. And of course, pull out these parts where you also get the heels, and the feet as well. And pull this one out as well. And kind of straighten that about. And here's Grimlock in his robot mode. Now, I like the alt mode for this toy, but the robot mode is very puppet-like in some weird way. It has a very puppet-like disfigurement to it, which I guess is... I don't really know what you can say about this robot mode. I mean, it's... For what it is, it's a decent-looking robot mode, but still, it feels a little bit ragged. It looks very ragged, and it's very tall as well. The first thing we're going to look at, of course, is the head sculpt. You can't see it very well, but of course you'll see that he has orange eyes. Well, actually, it's an orange visor, so it's an orange visor. That's pretty good. The mouth is quite smushed together like he's kissing, and of course the head can rotate the full 360, very stiffly though. And the arms. Well, actually, I'm going to get onto the arms a little bit, but first of all, I want to pay attention to this this tremendously well done detailing on his chest. That is very well done. Very good paintwork as well. Yeah, this guy's almost like a puppet. This guy actually has a sort of puppet-like body to him in some way, so it wouldn't actually be hard to attach some strings to him and actually do a little puppet show. But, that's fine. Now, the arms, I will say I have problems with, because you have to lift the shoulder pads up to move them, which is annoying. But as for the arms, they can rotate the full 360 if the arm pads are not in the way. The arms are on ball joints, so they can move from side to side, and not very good articulation in the arms, I must say. Not very good. So you can kind of have him just doing like the big monster move, where he's just looking like a big monster. But, yes, ho ho ho, and I just dropped him. Yeah, I mean, this figure kind of reminds you of the Green Giant in some weird way. Because he's green, and because he's tall as well. In fact, he is tall. He's actually one of the tallest build team members in the group, standing over a lot of the other characters altogether. But that's not a problem, because this guy acts as the arms and the shoulder torso for landfill, so that's pretty good. Now the legs, of course, they are quite nice. I like these legs. Very, very ragged and very long. And of course, the knee articulation is quite good. The feet can move like that. They're on ball joints. This figure is quite ball jointed, so that's pretty good. The figure has its problems, but I'm just blown away by how detailed and well colored it is. And of course, to finish it off, of course, we have his traditional weapon. And I'm just trying to straighten them up for the moment. There we are. Here, of course, is his arm, which, if you look right in there, there's a silver piece right there. And of course, you can actually pull that out to activate the power scissor, I guess you can call it that. It's on a spring mechanism, so you can kind of move that down. Nom 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 nom. But since this really hasn't got anywhere for him for this to go in his arms, it mainly just sits perched onto his back. That's how he always looks. And I've seen this arm do some weird things in the cartoon. I recommend that you don't do the same here. But of course, if you want, you can just move it from side to side like that. But you know what? This toy's actually fine. It's kind of crap in some weird way, but it could have been better. Actually, I'm saying it's fine. It could have been better. It could have actually been it could have been worse. But it could have been so much better, and it looks ragged and it looks like a puppet. But the arms could have been better. The legs are fine. The legs are fine. I've got no problem with the legs. It's just the arms that I have a problem with. The arms needed some work. These needed to go. They need to actually have a better place. But bearing in mind, the shoulder pads hide the robot head. So, go figure. Without that, the head would be revealed. But, there you go. That's Grimlock in a nutshell. He is the battle-seasoned veteran, the tallest, calmest build team member. And his toy, the alt mode is perfect. The color scheme is well done. The detail is quite impeccable and very well and phenomenally well done. The robot mode is a bit of a hit and miss, but I'm able to forgive its mistakes for all that it's worth. So is this recommendable? Well, of course. If you want to complete the whole build team set, you got to get this guy all together. But there you go. That's pretty much it. That's Robots in Disguise build team Grimlock, and I'm Skullgrim140. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to be wrapping this review up. We're going to be looking at the combined form of these guys, the combiner known as Landfill. So until then, folks, see you all tomorrow.